Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zoning in on something super practical. We're talking about nailing job interviews, specifically those done in English.
Right. And we've got this great resource, basically a full job interview script that was actually designed for English learners.
Exactly. So it's not just theory. This script, it's like a roadmap, isn't it? It shows you the kind of language that actually works in that professional setting.
It helps with speaking, listening, vocab,
Hmm?
all crucial for feeling confident in an interview context.
So our mission today, we're going to, unpack this script, pull out the key bits, the phrases you can actually use.
Yeah, the takeaways that will help you, the listener, feel more prepared, more confident walking into that English interview.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe. A shortcut to understanding what good interview communication sounds like. Okay, let's kick things off right at the start, the introduction.
The very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So the script has the candidate starting with, "Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity." Simple, yeah.
Seems simple, but it's polite, professional, sets a good tone immediately, shows gratitude.
Absolutely. Then they say who they are. "My name is your name, and I'm originally from your country." Standard stuff.
But then look what comes next. They give context, their field, years of experience, like business administration or IT, and I've spent the last X years.
Right. It gives the interviewer a quick professional snapshot, like an anchor point.
And here's something I found interesting. They add a personal goal. One of my biggest personal goals has been improving my English. And they mention working hard at it, especially professionally.
That's quite clever, actually. It frames the whole interview, maybe even any slight language imperfections, as part of their proactive growth. Shows they're invested.
Yeah, it signals self-awareness, initiative, it's a positive framing. Then they transition smoothly to their last job.
In my previous role, I worked at Company Name, where I was responsible for briefly explain your duties. Nice and concise.
And they add a bit about their style, right? I enjoy learning new things, solving problems, working with others. That's why I'm really excited.
Yeah, connecting past experience and their sort of inherent drive to this specific opportunity.
So that opening, it does more than just introduce. It kind of lays the groundwork, suggests drive, dedication, including the English part.
Sets a positive tone, definitely. Okay, so moving on. The big one. The why this job question. This can be make or break.
Totally. And this is where you really see if someone's done their homework. The script has the candidate saying something like, I applied because, well, I believe it's the right next step.
Right. And then the key part. I've done some research. I'm really impressed by your values, your culture, and especially your recent mention of specific achievement, product, or project.
That specific mention, that's the gold star, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It shows they didn't just read the About Us page. They likely dug into English sources, news updates.
Which speaks volumes about their initiative and their English comprehension, too, beyond just talking.
Exactly. Then they link it back to themselves. I want to be part of a company that encourages learning and growth, tying their goals to the company's environment.
And then bringing in their skills. I believe I can bring strong communication or a positive attitude or attention to detail. Those transferable skills.
Yeah, showing how they fit into what the company needs.
And notice that phrase. What drew me to this role was, that's a really useful structure for you listening. A clear signpost for your answer.
Definitely one to note down. Okay, so they've covered motivation. What about handling, the tough stuff? Challenges.
Ah, yes, the challenge question. Can you describe a challenge and how you handled it? The script uses that STAR method approach, even if it doesn't say so.
Right. Situation first. One of the biggest challenges. Project with a very tight deadline. Then halfway through, a team member left unexpectedly. Sets the scene. High stakes.
Then the reaction and the action part. At first, it was overwhelming, honest. But I quickly suggested a new plan. Initiative again.
Created a task schedule. Divided workload fairly. Offered to take on extra bits.
Yeah.
Daily check-ins. Very practical steps. Shows problem solving.
And the result, crucial. Thanks to teamwork and good communication, we completed the project on time. And even better, received positive feedback from our client.
Quantifying it makes it so much stronger. And then the final piece, the reflection.
Yes. This experience taught me adaptability, clear communication, staying calm under pressure, shows they actually learned something from it.
That storytelling aspect is just so powerful here. It's much more memorable than just saying, I'm adaptable. You're showing it.
Absolutely. Okay, next up, how would others describe you? How do you answer that without sounding, well, arrogant?
It's tricky. The script uses nice, solid adjectives. Reliable, friendly, proactive, good team qualities.
But the really smart part is the little story, the anecdote.
Exactly. My last manager once told me that I was the glue of the team because they help connect people, keep things organized, motivated.
That's brilliant. The glue. It's memorable, it's visual, it says so much more than just, I'm a good team player.
It brings the adjectives to life. So for you listening, think, has anyone ever given you feedback like that? A specific phrase? Use it.
Great advice. Okay, let's talk strengths directly. What are your greatest strengths?
The script lists 3. First, my ability to learn quickly, and they elaborate slightly. I invest time into understanding how it works.
Shows proactivity, not just passive learning. Second strength.
Organization. I also consider myself very organized. I like to plan things out, avoid unnecessary mistakes. Efficiency, attention to detail.
Good ones. And third.
Communication. I listen carefully, ask questions, make sure everyone is on the same page. Crucial, especially in teams. Listening and speaking.
And while the script keeps it concise, we should probably stress, right, for your actual interview, having a quick example for each strength is key.
Oh, absolutely. Examples make it believable. Okay, now for the one everyone kind of dreads. Weaknesses.
And what would you say is your biggest weakness? How does the script handle this?
Pretty well, I think. It starts honestly. That's a tough one. I used to struggle with speaking up in meetings. Acknowledging a real past issue.
Honesty is good, but the key is the follow-up.
Exactly. It's all about the growth. But I've been working on this. Reminding myself every idea matters. Asking questions helps the team. Now, I try to participate more actively.
So it shows self-awareness and proactive steps taken to improve. It turns a potential negative into a positive story about development.
That's the goal. Focus on progress. Okay, shifting gears to the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ambition time. The script suggests aiming for growth. In 5 years, I see myself in a role with more responsibility, maybe leading small projects or a team.
Signals career goals, wanting to progress. And it also mentions continuous learning.
Right. I want to keep learning, both technically and personally, shows commitment.
And look, it loops back beautifully to the English goal. I'm also working on my English every day, so I hope to be completely fluent. Use it confidently in international environments.
Ties it all together. Personal development supporting professional goals. And that phrase again, in 5 years, I hope to. Very useful.
Definitely. Okay, almost there. The end of the interview, when the tables turn. Do you have any questions for us?
And the answer should always be yes. It shows you're engaged. What questions does the script suggest?
Good, thoughtful ones. Could you tell me more about the team I'd be working with? Shows interest in colleagues.
Practical and...
Also, what does a typical day in this position look like? Shows interest in the actual work.
Makes sense. One more.
And finally, are there any opportunities for training or professional development? Shows commitment to growth within this company.
These are great questions. They show you're thinking seriously about the role, the team, your future there. And notice the polite framing. I'd love to know more about.
Yeah, another good phrase to borrow. Asking questions like these really leaves a strong final impression.
So wrapping up the script analysis, it even provides a list of useful phrases. We've touched on most of them.
Things like, thank you for the opportunity I have a background in. What drew me to this role was, a challenge I faced was, in 5 years, I hope to, and I'd love to know more about.
These aren't magic words, but knowing how they fit into the flow, seeing them used in context in the script, that can really boost your confidence using them yourself.
Absolutely. So the big takeaways from this deep dive. Preparation is key. Know the company, the role. Communicate clearly. Use examples.
Frame things positively, even challenges. Show growth. And ask smart questions at the end.
For you, our listeners getting ready for these interviews, these phrases we highlighted, they're practical tools. Use them. Adapt them.
Practice really helps build that fluency and confidence. Remember, every interview is a chance to tell your story.
Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to mull over.
Yeah.
How can you take these strategies, these phrases we've discussed, and really make them your own?
Right. Tailor them to your specific background, your unique experiences, the jobs you're actually applying for.
What specific stories, what examples from your career can you prepare right now that showcase your strengths, your journey, your growth? That personal touch, that's what will make you stand out.